Once, a land of rivers and looms shone so bright the world called it Sonar Bangla, Golden Bengal. Its cloth dressed emperors, its ports carried riches to distant lands. This is the story of how a living treasure, a people, an economy, a culture, rose to global fame, and how it would later face storms it never expected. Bengal's story begins with water. The Ganges, the Brahmaputra, and thousands of rivers braided into a delta that poured fertility into the soil. Floods here brought new soil, and new soil brought bounty. Rice paddies, jute, cotton, whole livelihoods grew from these rivers. From this abundance, cities rose. Sonargaon, Satgaon, Chittagong, Dhaka, centers of trade and craft.
Because of this geography, Bengal was connected, not isolated. Sailors from the Arabian Sea, merchants from China, and later Europeans came to its ports. Trade routes stitched Bengal into the wider world. By the Mughal era, Bengal had become a jewel in an imperial crown. Wealth flowed from agriculture, textiles, and shipbuilding. The Nawabs of Bengal presided over riches that drew envoys and traders from distant courts.
Murshidabad's palaces, Dhaka's mosques and gardens, Sonargaon's merchants. These were not small townships, they were hubs of finance, art, and craft. Coinage, courtly culture, and a thriving artisan economy marked the province.
It was an age when a single city could affect world markets. A yard of muslin, a bolt of silk. These things moved across oceans and influenced fashion, economy, and diplomacy.
If Bengal's signature was anything, it was muslin. Cloth so fine it was called woven air. European travelers marveled. Kings and queens coveted it. Muslin was more than fabric. It was a claim to economic and cultural power.
Muslin's journey began in the fields and among the spindles of village artisans. Cotton varieties, spinning techniques, and generations of skill made the magic possible. Every yard took weeks of patient work.
As demand grew, Bengal's weavers sent goods to port cities. Ships carried muslin to Lisbon, Amsterdam, and London. Bengal's name on a cloth was a guarantee of beauty and quality.
But this fame would also attract others, merchants who sought profit, and later powers who sought control.
Bengal's goods flowed into global networks. Spices, indigo, silk, and muslin were prized by merchants of Asia and Europe. Sailors exchanged stories and goods. The province's wealth was no secret.
European trading companies established footholds along Bengal's coasts, initially as partners in trade, later as formidable actors with political ambitions. These global links made Bengal cosmopolitan. Languages, religions, crafts, and cuisines mixed and evolved in its ports and cities.
Everyone played a part in Bengal's prosperity. Farmers, fishers, potters, spinners, shipbuilders. Festivals lit the nights. Literature and music blossomed. Religious life, Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, existed in a layered cultural fabric. Artisans learned skills as children. Songs passed memories between generations. Craft traditions tied communities together, and trade gave them reach beyond the delta.
This wasn't a static idol. It was a living, changing society. New ideas arrived with traders. New tastes arrived with merchants. Yet at its heart remained a steady rhythm. Seasons, rivers, looms.
But prosperity invites desire. When a region grows rich, others notice. Outside powers first came as trade partners, then as political actors. The balance that had sustained Bengal, credit, tradition, local rule, would soon be tested.
The story accelerates from here, from threads and trade to politics and power. In the next episode, we will trace the muslin's fall and meet the forces that reshaped Bengal's economy, the East India Company and the battlefields of empire. This was Bengal at its brightest. Next, the empire that would change everything.
Thank you for watching. To continue the story, tap here for episode 2. And don't forget to subscribe to QSTV4U for more powerful historical documentaries.